Hey guys, Dave with Moniology here. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. This is January 21st, 2018, and we're going to do a precious metals sector review. Overall, as you'll see, the metals are starting to perk up on a longer term basis. All our videos are from a weekly perspective. So we don't take a day-to-day approach, we take a week-to-week and month-to-month approach on our charting and trading analysis. It gives us a better perspective and removes some of the short-term noise in the market. Now, while we're very bullish on the precious metal space for 2018, we believe that there's an increasing probability of a short-term pullback. So if you don't own positions, you might have an opportunity to get in. If you want to add positions, you might have an opportunity to add at lower prices. But ultimately, in the next 6 to 12 months, we're going to see much higher prices ahead. So it depends on your perspective. Do your due diligence, please, on all of these ideas. They're just ideas. We're going to take a look at, out of a watch list of well over 200-300 names, we're going to look at some of the names that have the best charts. And we don't know too many details on the companies themselves. That's for you to do your homework. But these are some good ideas where you can start, have your starting point for your investing analysis. Anyway, guys, let's take a look at what we see here. So starting with gold weekly chart, this is breaking. Well, it had a very nice rally from low 1230s all the way to this kind of double top zone at around the 1360. We didn't quite get there, and actually the momentum here was lower than the last time we got there at 1360. That's negative divergence. That suggests that we're likely going to have a pullback to consolidate some of these gains, shake out some weekends, and ultimately we think we'll break out higher in 2008 from this point. Platinum is the metal of the year so far, and for good reason. We broke out of this downtrend since 2016. We had this kind of bullish flag consolidation where we backtested this breakout point several times. Now, boom, we broke out here. The MACDs are at basically almost 3-year highs. It's getting massively accumulated, and as you'll see in the later chart, we are, when you take a look at platinum versus gold, finally breaking out. Since 2014, we've been in a downtrend, platinum versus gold. Now, historically, taking a look at 30-40 years history, platinum has traded at a premium to gold of about $200 to $300 an ounce. It's trading at a discount now, about $300 an ounce. So we'll see if history always seems to revert back to the mean, and if that's the case, then platinum has ways to go to recapture its old glory. But look at this, it's finally starting to break out, and as you'll see, some of the hottest names in the precious metal space are those that are in the platinum palladium sector. So palladium is actually, which we're not covering here, but palladium is almost at $1,200 now. It's insane. It was a little over a couple $100 in the last couple of years, and it's rallied like crazy. But anyway, bottom line is this platinum overtaking gold is very bullish for the PM space in general, and we like what we see. Now, silver is still in this downtrend since 2016. It hasn't yet broken out, but it's above the 50 on the weekly RSI. It's consolidating here, which is what you want to see. It's above the 50-week moving average, and while we've kind of met resistance on this downtrend, the MACDs are breaking above zero, and it's only a matter of time when this breaks, and when it does, boom, it's going to fly. First target 22. Wouldn't be surprised to see 28 on the silver this year, possibly as high as 32 once the mania actually takes hold. But this is when you want to be buying, not when it's over here, but rather when it's over here. Don't invest your entire position. Put in a little bit, watch it break out. If it runs to here, maybe take some off the table. Watch for a pullback. If it successfully pulls back here, that's when you want to really load up really strongly, because it confirms this uptrend. And then ultimately, when it breaks above 22, that suggests there's something longer term happening, and that's when you want to load your third tranche. That's my approach. You have your own style. Now, taking a look at silver juniors here. They're on the verge of breaking out from their downtrend since 2016. The silver juniors actually look better than the gold juniors, and that's a very positive sign here as we look at various different indices. Gold bugs, HUI. This one is, it's consolidating right below 200 with the MACDs breaking above 0. It's consolidating above the 50 on the weekly RSI. That's a positive bullish development. You want to see the 50 hold here. That's important. So far we had a shooting star candle here, which suggests that we might be on the verge of a short-term pullback. That's okay, because it's gone up really fast, really too soon, and very often that's what happens once you break above the 0 mark on the weekly MACDs. People think, oh, the bull market is here. Well, the traders know this, and they often like to shake out the weekends and give people cause for doubt. But ultimately, we think that this is going to break above 200, and when it does, that's our sign that the bull market is indeed in full force. Taking a look at the majors, the gold majors, well, here again we had the shooting star candle on the weekly. That suggests that we'll likely pull back and consolidate here, probably retest the 50 on the weekly RSI, and a price of about, I would say close to the 24 level. We'll probably have to revisit before, or not the 24 level. My apologies. We closed at about 24, so about 22 to 23 is the level of support that I think will hold. Ultimately, breaking higher above 25 is the key to confirm this longer-term uptrend. Juniors in gold, they're above the weekly, above 0 on the MACDs. That's very positive, but again, shooting star candle not so good in the short run. Now it needs to hold above the 50 and the 200 EMAs. Well, the 50 is the 34 level, so that's where you're going to find some support. It's also the 33.5 is the middle Bollinger Band. That's where I think we're going to find support. We might break below it for just very briefly to shake out some weekends. Ultimately, I think we're going to see 45 in the next couple of months, and possibly even retest that 50 level. So there's tremendous upside here, but it needs to consolidate a little bit more, it seems like, before moving higher. Certainly the metals do. Now, looking at individual names, again, we looked at 300 names and we picked up the ones that we think have the best charts. We haven't done the fundamental analysis, so please, this is for education purposes only. Do your due diligence. And this is in no particular order. Actually, well, it's alphabetical order, but not necessarily of level of importance. So Anglo American, this is a platinum, diversified platinum play. Beautiful chart here, almost like a V-shaped bottom here, and it's been going up ever since. Obviously, if you got in at 153, it's been a great rally, but in our opinion, this is just getting started. This stock used to be in the hundreds when platinum was higher, and it's a hugely leveraged play in platinum palladium space, and it looks like it has only upside ahead here. I think of all the names, this probably has the best diversified upside in the metal space here, so we really like Anglo Platinum. Looking at a Sanko Gold AKG, this has been killed over the last couple of years and went all the way down to 43 cents. They've clearly had some problems. Don't know the fundamentals, but something's changing here. And if it breaks out above $1, we think it's going to happen soon. It might consolidate here for a while, but it breaks out above $1. This is confirming a new uptrend. RSI has already broken out of this range, and RSI always leads. That's a key to our trading analysis. We're at multi-year highs in MACDs. We will be buying here very soon. A Sanko Gold. Atlanta Gold Corp, SPVEF. Another name, this is unlike a Sanko. This has been going up since 2016, and it's been consolidating here for a while. We think it's getting ready to move higher. As it's been consolidating above the 50, the MACDs are starting to curl higher. Look at the accumulation. That's very positive developments. The Stochastics are moving higher. This one looks about ready to go. If you want to bottom feed, now is the time to get in. If you want to be a momentum trader, you want to see this break above 150 for its next leg higher. No Silver and Gold ASM, this one broke out above this downtrend here in June, July of this year, and then it consolidated and broke below that breakout point of about $1.50, and it kind of double bottomed here, and it double bottomed actually on weakening momentum. So but it held, and now it's starting to rally. Broke above the weekly, above zero on the MACDs, and it's starting to make a very solid double bottom, and momentum is now leading. So whatever it needed to do here to shake out the weak hands, it did successfully. This is a great buying point with a very good risk reward. You know, to kind of get out around that 150 level, and or you know, give yourself some space. But ultimately, this is the area where you want to get out if it continues going lower. But the MACDs are strong, accumulation is good, and ultimately we think this hits a high of at least $3.20 this year. So we're above the 50 on the weekly RSI as well. Belo Sun Mining. This is one that was killed after having a very good run since 2016. Went from a low of about 9 cents to a high of 87, all the way back to 28 cents. MACDs are creating positive divergence here. That's something very beautiful chart pattern that is very hard for algorithms to sniff out. But if you've been doing this as I've been doing for over 10 to 15 years, this is something that you see and you pick up on, and this suggests that we're in a very constructive bottoming pattern right above this area where we broke out last time around in 2016. MACDs are starting to curl. This is when you want to start buying. Next on the list is Cachet Exploration, CAY.V, Canadian company. This had a massive rally all the way to 31 cents, broke down to 5 cents, but now it's starting to break out again. And we think that, this downtrend, you draw a trend line like this, is over. And now the uptrend has begun. Now it's going to find some challenges as we try to break above the 38 level and above the 50 level. So pullbacks will happen, but this is where you want to start buying these names. And this can see 31 cents and higher at some point this year. So a lot of upside here. Compañía de Minas Buenaventura, BVN. This one has had a beautiful chart here. It's bottomed in 2016, has been basing basically ever since. It's starting to finally break out here. We think that now it's above that 61 level on RSI. It's breaking above 15. The next leg higher, it likely has begun. Wouldn't be surprised if we make a run towards 26 in the next coming months in BVN. So a lot of upside, and the risk reward is very well defined. Eldorado Gold, EGO, another stock that's been killed over the last couple of years, but it's finally starting to base. This again tells me that the metals are starting to find their legs, and it's breaking above the zero on the MACDs. It's creating a double bottom with divergence. That's key. And so we think $2 is definitely in the cards. But if it breaks above 2, that's the long-term play in terms of upside, much higher upside ahead, and it's a sign that whatever happened within the company is likely being turned around. Endeavor Silver, EXK, another one that has had a great run from 2016, consolidated, broke out of this downtrend. Now it kind of back tested a little bit. Now it broke above the 50, it broke below the 50 on the RSI, but it might stay here for a little while. But watch what happens when it breaks back above, I would say, the 270 level. That's the 50 weekly moving average. We think that this is going to hit a high of 5 at a minimum this year. First Majestic, another silver play. It's been consolidating around that 6 to 7 level for better half of this year, but the momentum has been building, and that's key. That's a very positive development. We think that ultimately, once it breaks above that 8 level, it's going to make a massive run, similar to what it did here in 2016. So a lot of upside. Expect to see 14 and 19 hit at some point this year. Fortuna Silver Mines FSM, another one that had a nice run, had a nice bullish flag correction, consolidating here for built a higher base, and now it's above the 50 on the weekly RSI. Expect this to turn here and to the upside, in our humble opinion, and break higher in the coming weeks after the short-term pullback in miners likely ends. Once you break, first target would be 7, which is a very nice move, but again, we think that $9.75, $10 area will be hit this year. FreeportMcmoran FCX, beautiful chart here. It's a copper miner and gold as well, but ultimately this is breaking, and it's about to make a break higher for a next run. And I mean, this could see 30s, 40s, 50s as the miners, as gold, as copper continue to make new highs. Gold Resource Corp GORO. This looks very good. It's created this new base higher, and it's bottoming out here. And this is a shoe-in for 6. Likely hits $8 this year. Momentum is leading. This is very key. Look, momentum here is higher today than when the price was at $6 and frankly almost at $8. So this is one of the better charts in this particular video sector. Gold Standard Ventures Corp, GSV rather, another one that looks good. It's building stair-step momentum higher. It's running right now, and this is one that we're going to be looking at very closely in the coming days. If it on any pullbacks, we'll be adding, and this has very good management company behind it, and likely moves towards $3 to $4 at some point this year. Golden Arrow Resources GARWF, another one, broke above this downtrend, and now it's starting to consolidate here. This has tremendous upside. Wouldn't be surprised to see 130 break out above this level in the not too distant future. Really like this this chart. Gold Mining GLD LF, another one with great management behind it. It's been consolidating assets during this downtrend, been buying on pennies on the dollar, and now it's starting to rise. Look at the MACDs. It's about to break above 0. When it does, expect a very, very strong move higher. I would be shocked if we did not see 250 retested at some point this year. One of our favorite names in the space. Great Panther Silver GPL, another silver play. We think that this is getting ready to break above 150 and ultimately going to break above 220 this year. It's shown a lot of strength even when silver was kind of in the doldrums. It's well managed, and ultimately, if it holds above 50 on the weekly RSI, expect to see, and there's a lot of support above the 50 weekly moving average, the middle Bollinger Band. If it holds above this level around that 120 zone, expect this to break higher in the coming months. Moving on, GUG.V Resources GUG.V, another well-managed miner. 2016 to 2017, when most miners got killed and crushed, this was rallying. So from 20 cents, it's consolidated back to 12 cents. It's setting up for a major move higher if it can break above this bullish flag here. I think it will. The MACDs are starting to consolidate here higher and curl towards 0. I think it has a lot of upside ahead. HudBay Minerals HBM, another well-managed miner. Another copper play, and it's from bottoming in 2016. It's had a great run, and it looks like it's getting ready to break higher again for a run into the mid-teens, possibly into the 20s. Really like this. There's less risk in this particular play than a lot of these junior miners, and depending on your strategy, this could be a great addition to your portfolio. Iamgold IAE. Another one that's really done well since 2016, and from a low of 115 to a high of 587, consolidated, moved all the way to 725 even as other miners were getting crushed. Looks like it's now rounding out and building another cup and handle here, and a break above $8 likely sends this into the mid-teens. RSI is leading this rally, very positive. We're at $6 right now. RSI is higher than when we were at 635. And while we're not at the momentum that we were when we were at 7, I think we're ultimately going to get to that point as the MACDs break above 0. Impala Platinum, another platinum play. This is one that can really run. If it breaks above basically $3, this is a great play. Run towards 4, but once this breaks above 4, that's really when the magic is going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised to see this hit $8 a share this year. This is one of those names that was in the hundreds back when platinum was in its heyday, and it can get there again. It's a very diversified platinum miner, very leveraged to the platinum palladium space. International Tower Hill Mines THM, beautiful charting pattern here. Broke out, consolidated, retested successfully from the upside, broke out, Now it's consolidating again, looking for this breakout above 50, and ultimately we think this is going to make a run towards that 140 to 180 space. It's finding a little trouble right now to break above the 50 on the weekly RSI. Give it a little time, it's going to do that. The MACDs have broken above here, above the 0 marker, so this is a name that we're going to be looking at very closely in the coming weeks. Ivanhoe Mines, one of the best managed mines in the sector. Look at this cup and handle here. It's consolidated for all of 2017, and it's finally starting to perk up here. If this breaks above the 50 on the weekly RSI, expect this to make a run. If it breaks above 550, expect to see the teens in the not distant future thereafter. But look at the MACDs, curling and curling, and that's what you want to see even as the price consolidates. We really like this name. London Gold, another one that's managed by one of the legends. This one has been kind of zigzagging for 2 years, but when this breaks above 480, this can really run, so keep an eye on London. McEwen Mining, another one that's run by a legend. You want to own mines that are run by legends who have done this before, and even though it's been weak for the last couple of years, the momentum is starting to build here. So if you draw a line like this, it broke out of this downtrend already. So you want to be buying as it's above the middle Bollinger Band. Hopefully for us, it consolidates a little bit longer, but expect to see 5 and much higher in 2018. New Gold NGD, another well-managed miner. MACDs are curling higher, and it's had some troubles, but expect this to break, and when it does, it's going to make a run into the mid-teens in our opinion in 2018 as the metal space really runs. Nippon Dragon Resources, NIP. Don't know what these guys do, but we really like the momentum that is building here. And a run towards 15 is definitely in the cards, and it looks like it's starting to really be accumulated, so a lot of upside ahead for Nippon. Northern Dynasty, one that we owned from about here all the way to here. We sold out about here. Actually, right about here, we sold out in pre-market, and now it's kind of fallen much to our surprise. It's one of those buy the rumor, sell the news stories, but it's consolidating and it's holding above the 50 and the 200 weekly moving averages. This is a great buy point in our opinion. It's basing above that 38 to 40 level right now, and while it might hold here just for a little bit longer, if it breaks back above 2, which we think it will, it's going to make a run for 345 and ultimately break higher. The fundamentals story behind this is a good one, and the technicals just need the time to consolidate, and we think that they're doing so as we speak. Nova Gold NG, another name that's if you draw a line from the top here like this, it's right at the cusp of breaking out of this downtrend, this bullish wedge downtrend since 2016. Momentum is consolidating right below the 50 on the weekly RSI, and we think that once this takes off, this is another one of those leveraged plays in gold. This is going to make a run towards 7. If it breaks 7, that's when the mania is going to kick in, and you can see mid-teens on Nova Gold. Oceana Gold Corp, OCANF. Another one that's done really well since 2016, but it's kind of consolidated here. Momentum is starting to build, and MACDs are curling. The cards are aligning for a very nice run in this particular miner. A couple more. Platinum Metals PLG. This is one that we've been absolutely crushed on over the years. You'd be surprised how much money I personally lost on this miner. I had a lot of geological issues. They've got very poor management, but ultimately they made a partnership with, I believe it's Anglo, and they've got the best platinum palladium mine in the world that's not yet been developed, but now that they've got the money behind them, they've basically gotten rid of most of their debt. Look at the volume here. It's broken out of this downtrend and is starting to run. I would not be surprised to see a move towards 1 in the not too distant future, and with the MACDs at 3-year highs, this has tremendous upside in our opinion. Polymet Mining Corp, don't know what these guys do, but they're doing something well. They finally broke out here and they're consolidating. Expect to see a break back above 110 and a move higher towards 150, and probably much higher. So do your due diligence on this name. There might be tremendous upside on PLM. Next is Sandstrom Gold, SAND. This is one of those names that has a great fundamental story behind it. It's been basing for since 2016, and it's one of those that's highly leveraged to gold, to the price of gold. And as gold breaks out, this one can really run. I expect to see the teens in 2018. Semafo, SEMFF, another one that's kind of fallen on hard times since its high in 2016. But it's starting to rally. Momentum is very strong. It's higher today than when price was at 473 and basically even 5. So this is one that you really want to look at and consider owning. Next is Sibanye Gold, SBGL. Another one that's in platinum palladium. Looks like it's on the cusp of breaking out of this downtrend. And while the MACDs don't look so strong, I think that ultimately they'll recover and break higher. But keep an eye on this particular miner. It's got a lot of upside. Silvercorp Metals, SVM, another one in the silver space that's kind of been consolidating for 2 years. It's above 50 on the weekly RSI, and we think that this one might pull back a little bit after this shooting star, but ultimately this breaks above $3. Next target is $4.50, and once this breaks, that's when the major move is going to happen. Southern Silver Exploration, SSVFF, another one that's had a beautiful run even as the miners were getting crushed. It's been basing for a while, and it looks like it's ready to break higher here as it's consolidating above the 50, and the MACDs are above 0. So keep an eye on this one. A couple more names here. Teranga Gold, TGCDF. It's starting to look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 hammer patterns on the weekly. It's got really good chart formation. It looks like it's getting ready for a run towards 4, possibly 5.50 to 6. It's got a lot of upside ahead. Look at the accumulation on this one. Equinox Gold Corp, LWLCF, another one that's really has been led by momentum. We really like that it's above the 50 weekly moving average, above the middle Bollinger Band, broke out above $1, consolidating here. The MACDs are at their 3-year highs, and 150 and 2 are very likely in the not too distant future. Trevally Mining Corp, TREVF, another one that's had a beautiful chart, another great managed company, and we like this name as it breaks above 140 on momentum play, and as it holds above that 110 to 120, that's a great place to add. MACDs are curling above 0. Accumulation is happening here, and this one has a tremendous upside. A couple more here. Trilogy Metals, TMQ. This is starting to break out here, and we've been long this name for a long time here, in and out, but ultimately it broke out above 125, made a run higher towards 150, and it's making a run towards 2. We think it's going to hit $3 in the not too distant future as well. Finally, last on this list is Oceana Gold AAY. It's based since 2017. Finally broke higher. It might consolidate here above $3 for a little bit, but ultimately expect to see this make a run towards that 6 area and much higher in the future. Another one that's leveraged towards gold. Ultimately, guys, what we're seeing here is a mixed bag in the metal space. Longer term, we're bullish. When I say longer term, next 3 to 6 months, I think we're going to see much higher prices. We're in the first to second inning of, in our opinion, a multi-year bull run in the precious metal space. You're going to see 100, 2, 3, 4, 500% returns in a lot of these miners. So do your due diligence, find the names that you like, research the management teams. If you're strictly a technical trader, look at some of these charts and make sure that you manage your risk accordingly. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, but there are some great opportunities here, and I wish you the best. And please do give us our feedback. This is a long video. It's take a long time to put together, long time to research. So if you appreciate the work that we're doing here, please look at the show notes. There's a link to the Patreon campaign and support what we're doing. And we're going to do a lot more of these videos in the future with your support. So thanks, guys. Have a great week and good luck trading.